Thank you so much, Winston. It's such an honor to actually have you on this YouTube channel. I really appreciate our YouTube channel. We have just initiated. It's called Man Down Under, and Man Down Under is basically initiative of two people we are from India, but we are based down under, which is Australia. Anyways, a great fan. As I mentioned yesterday, we were having a chat. I still remember very, very clearly, and we mentioned this yesterday as well, that when you bounced Sanjay Manjrekar and gave him few stitches. I think it was 16 or 18.
Or 15.
15 stitches. There you go. So you would remember. And was it your first first test, or you had already made the debut before that?
No, that was my first. That was on my debut.
That was on your
my
debut.
In Delhi, yes.
That was so amazing.
And I think that was his debut as well.
Oh, really?
Stand to be corrected though.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not 100% sure, because I do recall. I'm not absolutely. We are talking about 85, 86, right?
86.
86. There you go. Yeah, 86. So, things change possibly. I'm not 100% sure when Sanjay Manjrekar made his debut. Everybody knows about Sachin Tendulkar, obviously, the great Sachin Tendulkar, who made his debut in 89. Anyways, really, 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 it's an honor to have you on this channel and having this conversation with your permission. Just wanted to have a chat. Obviously, firstly, know you a bit. We're having a discussion for the last couple of days. Just want to understand. And I don't know if you did get a chance to have a look at the latest score between West Indies and India. India, I think, declared.
Yes, India declared for 500 and what was it, 42, I think?
That's correct. 542.
The last first West Indies was 100 and
518, actually. They retired. Yeah. They declared at 518 and 140 for West Indies for 4 wickets.
Yes, something like that, yeah.
What do you reckon it's going? Where is it going?
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. I mean, it's a better performance, a better showing than what they did in the first test. As I've said before, and I'm not going to be mincing my words, I still believe that Shai Hope is our best player, but I think he needs to take more responsibility. Like, for instance, in the first test, him batting at number 6 makes absolutely no sense to me. When your team is batting first, if we were in the field and he was a little tired, you could understand that he wants to bat at 6. But for me, if he's not batting at number 4, he shouldn't have been playing.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be batting no lower than 4 in our team. Bearing in mind the quality that the team has.
Absolutely.
If he's not going to bat in the top 4, then he should not be playing.
Absolutely. But having said that, but when you're actually talking about Shai Hope has been there for a while. So he has played, 43 odd matches. Test, I'm talking about strictly test stats, and averages around 24.63. So his average obviously doesn't justify his talent.
Yeah, but let's not forget that when Shai Hope started in England, he had a century in each innings. I think it's a mind over matter for Shai. He got roughed up in, I think, New Zealand, and then all of a sudden, it's as if he forget how to play the longer version of the game.
Yeah, England has stats as around 34. He averages 34, whereas against New Zealand, as correctly said, 18.75. And let's see, India is not that bad considering his average, but it's definitely lower than his overall career average. He's sitting at 21 dot something. Nevertheless, so
the statistics does not say a hold. It does not jump out at you.
Yeah,
but I think he's a better player than the statistics would have indicated. But I guess you have to produce to improve your statistics. So on one hand, you have the talent, and on the other hand, you're not producing. So where do we go from there?
absolutely. And again, so going back to the first question from the 75 ODI World Cup winner, from 79 ODI World Cup winner to 83 being finalist, and actually getting India bowled out for 183. And then, India came up, did some good bowling, won the World Cup. But from the era of the great Clive Lloyd, Joel Garner, Sir Viv Richards, late Malcolm Marshall, and then second generation after that, Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh, the Brian Lara, and to a certain extent, Shiv Narayan Chanderpaul, Ram Narayan Servan. What has happened to West Indies cricket?
Well, I tell you what, I think we took things for granted. While other players, other teams, other nationalities were using, they were using, what's the word I'm trying to find? They were finding ways and means of improving their cricket. Technology is the word I'm trying to find. Whilst they were using technology to improve, we were just taking things as normal, and up to this day, we're still doing the same thing. We have, I just said 75, 79, 83, 86 when I got in, because I was there with Malcolm Marshall, Joel Garner, Mikey Holden. Those guys, I think the era was coming to an end, and I don't think the vision was there to see that. And as I said, technology came into play, and others were looking at us because we were actually the guinea pigs then. Look at what we're doing, and we're modeling their games, utilizing what we had on offer, and use it to some great effect against us. Because if you remember, in the World Cup, New Zealand had great batch who decided, okay, I'm going to take them on and use their style against the other teams, and he was pretty successful.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
But we continue in that fashion where, okay, somebody's just going to come through and become great players, whereas other teams were using technology and improving while we were stagnated, I should say, and not paying attention to that aspect of our cricket.
I always give credit.
And bearing in mind also that we are a small nation in terms of numbers.
Yes.
Right. So we had to find ways and means to improve, and with technology comes distraction. Cell phone, games, nothing structural in place to encourage. So young boys find other ways of entertaining themselves other than cricket. And that is what is killing us at the moment.
Yeah. And how much difference does it make that West Indies is basically, different islands? So there are separate islands with separate governments, separate councils, separate, I don't know about the cricket board. Cricket board is definitely one, West Indies cricket board. But considering they are smaller islands, separate island, in terms of and this is just a question, in terms of for India, Pakistan, and I was talking to one of my mates, and the last week we did a small segment on West Indies. And I always talked about, in terms of financials, apart from the financials, there's another massive aspect in terms of playing under the flag. how much relevant is that? For instance, Bangladesh back in the days, they were a poor board, cricket board. But since, having the flag, playing under the flag, that pride was there. Is your current lot, in terms of in general, has gotten away from that, or it's still the same?
It's a difficult question. It's a good question at the same time. But I think when you look at what's on offer, I mean, people have family to look for. There's not a lot coming from the West Indies Cricket Board after your playing days are over. It's not like you're getting a big payday whilst playing. So I guess with the advent of T20 and the amount of money that is going around, I mean, these guys are now looking to family instead of the West Indies,
Cricket.
choosing to play for the West Indies.
Yeah, so it is basically, and once again, this is my understanding, and please do correct me if I'm wrong. I still feel the proximity to the US and coming up of NBA and a lot of individual sports, what I want trying to say, individual sports, which is NBA, basketball, maybe soccer, maybe other sports, that, and correctly you said, financials, they have possibly attracted the individuals more from the Caribbean islands. Will that be correct to say?
No, I don't think where the basketball is concerned and the soccer. I mean, soccer is easier and it is cheaper.
Yeah.
When you look at cricket and the equipment that is needed, if we're going to use a skeleton scale and say, okay, we're going to buy a cricket bat for $200, $300, and then you're buying a pair of pads for $150, a pair of gloves for $100, a pair of cricket shoes for $400. We almost reached $1,000. And then there's the Tide pad, the seed cup, or the box protective box, the arm guard, the helmet. It's an expensive sport. And hence the reason why I'm trying my best to see how much help that I can get. But it is easy to get a pair of shorts and a cricket boot and a football boots, a football, and you're on your way. You have to prepare a cricket pitch. It is not as easy as just showing up and going on a park and kicking a football or knocking a cricket ball. Everything for cricket has to be perfect. So what I'm seeing, and I'm not knocking the players for wanting to look out for their family, because I've been there and I know what it's like at the end of your career. There's basically nothing to get after your career is over from a West Indies Cricket Board standpoint. You're on your own, literally. And as I said, the money is nothing that you can shout about to ensure that your family survive investing while playing and after cricket. So I can understand players needing to look after their family, but I also think that it's not every league around the world you should want to be in, bearing in mind that the West Indies would have given you an opportunity to showcase your talent.
Absolutely.
But then at the same time, it's the same West Indies board giving the NOCs and so forth to these said players. So either way, we have to prioritize.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot of money in the private office, $100,000 on an office, and I think our priority is in the wrong place.
Yeah, credit. I'll give credit to actually BCCI, specifically where Indian cricket team, and I know more about Indian cricket team apart from obviously being a cricket fan myself. But coming from India, I follow a lot of Indian cricket. I do follow cricket pretty much across the globe, but I follow Australia, India, England, Pakistan, major nations, obviously New Zealand a lot. And credit to BCCI, where it started from '83 World Cup, where you still listen to Sunil Gavaskar and Kapil Dev, where they were basically just getting out there for the World Cup kind of a vacation instead of thinking about winning. And eventually now they have become a giant. So I was having a discussion this afternoon with one of my friends and discussing exactly the same thing. And the intent is there, the board is there, the BCCI now in Bangalore, there's a massive facility called Center of Excellence, where you have got 40 pitches, different kind of pitches, 40 pitches. They have got a red soil, they have got a black soil, different conditions. They let the players play. Having said that, there are quite a few players like Rinku Singh in the recent generation, Yusuf Pathan and Irfan Pathan in the previous generation, Sachin Tendulkar and Vinod Kambli in the generation before, who have come from a very, very, very humble background. And they were pretty much, for instance, Irfan Pathan and Yusuf Pathan, they, with the family, with their sisters and their parents, they used to live in a single room. And from there, and they have got a palace now, kind of a palace now, a massive house, but they have come up from those humble background, but they specifically went for it. And I believe at certain level when they reached and they had the talent, and the same thing, I shouldn't forget Hardik Pandya and Kunal Pandya coming from very humble background. But I think BCCI then promoted, IPL pulled them up, and IPL actually invests so much money. And later on, with those influx of money coming from BCCI and IPL and promoting cricket, now they have become international. But still, in India, test match cricket is taking at the highest level. Is that the same case for West Indies?
No. I think what is happening here is that you take what you get. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
There's no priority. I think the CWI needs to make a decision or a mandate on the direction in which it needs to go. Everybody keeps speaking about the days of old. The days of old, you have a player coming through, he's unknown. Now, as you play a first-class match, everybody knows what you're doing, everybody sees what you're doing, and people plan according to what they're seeing. And we are still in the days of old. We are still with the 1975 mentality. Another thing, too, is that we don't have the numbers and we don't have the quality. And we want to play with three different teams, the ODI team, your T20 team, and your test team. I mean, barring one or two players, I think what we have, or what we should be focusing on, is utilizing most of our players, because right now we're only playing 2 and 3 test matches. Nobody's going to play 5 test matches against us unless it's Afghanistan and those teams who just got full thing, you know. So if we're playing 5 ODIs and 3 T20, the guys who would have played in the test match or test matches should be fit enough to go and play in a ODI series and play a T20 game. And as I said, barring one or two players, because when you look at the other affiliate nations, the Afghanistan, the Bangladesh, and so forth, who are primarily focusing on the shorter version of the game, they can put all their effort and energy into a specific framework where this is the approach. It's a limited over game. You just either go down or go up. Whereas you're playing a test match over 5 days, it's a different approach.
Sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I was watching just now where Namibia beat South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying this is what is happening in these shortened version. Anything can happen on a given day.
Absolutely. Shortened version, that's correct. It has become a bit serious, but it's always, in my words, it's always a backyard cricket. It's definitely a backyard cricket. You know, you on a certain day, and that is why there have been massive, massive, sometime setbacks for different countries. India has lost to a couple of them. Australia has lost. Pakistan has lost to the US. In fact, Pakistan is a fantastic team. In the World Cup, they lost to the US. US kind of an associate nation, but they eventually lost. But having said that, and that's once again a lot of different boards. What are they doing? Australia, New Zealand, England, and India, obviously, and to a certain extent South Africa now. They're influxing a lot of money. They're putting a lot of support, and coming that's from ICC, bringing that eyeballs, bringing the audience to the games, bringing, in other words, revenue. So is West Indies or ICC together trying to help the West Indies cricketers or doing something? Or
I honestly don't know. I'm not in the know-how, but looking on from the outside, it does not seem as if that is the situation where the ICC is helping. I saw a clip from Jason Gillespie, who said instead of looking to have two tiers, why not try to help West Indies, who over the years was the backbone of international cricket?
absolutely.
And now that we have fallen and we're in the doldrums, just like the other associate nations, we need help as well. But at the same time, where is our money going? What are we doing? Because I'm not seeing the development program that we need to bring through quality players. It's the same old, as I said. From I was playing on the 19s, it's the same thing. It's not about just hosting a tournament, putting some schedule together and then calling it. If you're spending money, you have to know where your money and how your money is being spent. Where are the persons are the people who are involved to make sure to give account for what is going on? Who are the coaches are you hiring to do this development in these territories? Because one of the things that I've heard is that the territorial boards are the ones who are making the decision. But I find it strange because there is somebody who's paying the territorial board, and the territorial board should be questionable or responsible to answer questions from CWI. So I don't know if we're working in reverse or are we not working at all, but our cricket over the last 25 years has not shown one bit of improvement in any facet at all.
That's correct. Whatever the players that we have seen in the recent time, and I was very surprised, and I've been following West Indies cricket for a while, obviously from 80s. But in the recent time, you will see the Chris Gales, you will see the Pollard, you will see the Bravo brothers, you will see Purans. They are massive names, very, very, very talented players, but they decide to choose their own path in terms of private leagues and more Premier Leagues and the IPLs and the CPLs instead of coming back to serve the West Indies and play for.
Yeah, but you see too, is that the way you treat people, it's important.
Yes.
Some of these guys are grieve and is of the opinion that they weren't treated fairly. But who am I to say that they weren't? But it's been something that you would have noticed over the years. The way the Western Cricket Board look at you is like, okay, you are dispensable.
Yeah.
We don't need you. If you stand up for what you believe in, you're blacklisted. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are times when you just have to let certain things be. And as I said when we spoke the last time, we have a lot of talent here, but we just don't have the mindset. We don't have the skill set. I think talent-wise, there are a number of young players, as I mentioned before, Auguste, Joel Andrew, the Alec Athenes, and some of these selections as well, you have to ask yourself the question, what is really going on here? Because there's a young man, Blaze, from Barbados, and to be honest, he's average at best. And I can't see what the Western Cricket Board saw in him.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I've got just last two questions. One question. I saw Viv Richards, Sir Viv Richards on the TV when I was watching and following last night's match between India and West Indies. There was Brian Lara, who was sharing the dais in Mumbai somewhere with Rohit Sharma, some event day before yesterday or a couple of days back. So there are a lot of people who are traveling. There are a lot of people from West Indies, ex-cricketers and the big names. I personally feel if they decide they have got the intention, and I don't know, once again, the inside story of West Indies board, but the people like Live Lawyer, who's a referee, who was, I don't know if he's still there as a referee, but Brian Lara's, the Viv Richards, the Bishop, Courtney Walsh, Ambrose, if they come together and possibly try to work out and make a plan, and if the intent is there, do you reckon it's possible to make those changes and bring back the golden days of West Indies cricket?
Definitely. I've said it many, many times. We have criticized, but what is the solution? It's one thing to criticize, but then there must be some solution after you would have criticized whoever or whatever you're criticizing. Say to me like, okay, this is happening, that is happening, but this is the solution, or this is what I think would be one of the pillars to start your foundation from.
Yeah.
And get our youngsters into training camp earlier. We tend to wait until the last minute. Everything is done in the last minute. And it is not happening for us. So we need to change what we're doing, because it is said that if you continue to do the same thing over and over, you should not expect a different result than what you're getting.
Absolutely.
You understand? So if it is not working, then you make changes. There are cricketers who's going to come through later. There are those who are exceptions, and you have to cater for both.
Sure.
You understand? Because some of those guys who came through later find themselves to be a little bit more technical, more patient, as to the naturally talented and naturally gifted, as we label them.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see the Laras, the Chris Gales, the Bravos, the Pollard, the Kurt Yambrews, all of them making a concerted effort to do something. The Bishops, all of that.
Absolutely. I would say, I'm not sure, I'm too small a YouTuber. I still don't call this not my full-time job, but if somebody, I'll try to actually promote this specific video with you being obviously our guest of honor, and so ensure that if any clip, anything that actually reaches one of these players, and the intent that comes to actually improve the cricket board. One last question, Winston, before I let you go. With the backyard cricket, which we talked about, T20, playing around, obviously, as an international, as well as a lot of leagues, not too many bilateral series. And it's a great initiative by the ICC and different boards to bring up the World Test Championship to improve that. So World Test Championship will keep the test alive. And the results like we had against between India and England, and last year's Australia and India, and the upcoming Ashes, and couple of these are massive promotion. And the innings that Ben Stokes, I still say one of the biggest. I don't know if you do recall, a couple of years back, Ben Stokes played that massive inning, winning that match for England in the Ashes against Australia. So with obviously test matches there is going to stay, and T20 is going to stay. But do you reckon ODI is going to stay beyond 3-5 years? Because it has already started becoming irrelevant.
Well, definitely, if you look at the number of ODIs that has been played between the different teams, the different nations, you will see that it's getting smaller and smaller by the year. The T20 version is now becoming the entertainment capital of cricket.
Oh, yeah.
So the ICC and all other cricketing bodies will have to get together and decide, is it worth it to continue with ODIs, or let me just test and T20s?
Yeah.
Because for me, the ODI is well, let me not say a thing of the past, but it is dying a rapid death.
It is definitely. And that is why that was the intent of my question.
Pardon me?
That was the intent. I understand that. And that was my intent. That is the intent behind my question.
Yes, it's something that has to be looked at, because we're still having a World Cup, ODI World Cup, but teams are not playing the number of ODIs amongst each other. It's always a T20, a 5, a 7. I mean, it does not matter who the teams are. They're playing a certain number of T20s.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Hardly any ODIs at all.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Yeah. And the base of that, in fact, I don't know if you've heard the recent changes. They have removed Rohit Sharma, the Indian team. The BCCI has removed Rohit Sharma from the captaincy and handed over to Shubman Gill. I think it was a very bold decision, my personal, because looking at the World Cup 2027, by the time Rohit Sharma is going to be 40, nothing taking away from his greatness as a player, as a captain. I think it's a time the BCCI is handing the rope to the new leader and making a new leader. And there's going to be only 20 ODIs between now, including the ODI series against Australia starting this month, 19th, to the World Cup, which is in 2 years. So it's
it speaks volume as to what the ICC thinks about ODIs.
Yes.
But yet still they're going ahead to play an ODI World Cup. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
You're killing the product that you're trying to promote in 2 years' time.
I don't think they're promoting. It may lead up to a natural death, because 2027 World Cup would be there. It has been announced. Whether 2031
but that is the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
You would have announced it, but then in the schedules of teams between now and 2027, there's 20-something matches in 2 years.
Yes.
That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense at all whatsoever. You need more, because what are you looking for? The crowd, you're looking for participation, you're looking for the venue to be sold out. What it is that you're trying to gain by promoting a 2027 ODI World Cup.
That's
But
right.
you're not playing enough to get the crowd interested.
Absolutely. Anyways, I really appreciate, Winston, for your time. It has been an honor and a pleasure of mine for you to come and speak about cricket. It is a passion for me. It's definitely a passion for you, and you're living the passion. I'm a cricket tragic. I still go out and try to, do a wicket keeping and batting on Sundays in social cricket, and a massive tragic. But what we share is
Yep.
the love for cricket.
Well, for me, it's 6 days per week. I take a Sunday off, and if the weather decide to bless me with a little time off, but
Which happened yesterday.
it happened yesterday and today. All my effort and interest is getting in the park, making sure that these youngsters are putting in the work, and I am going to still be asking, pleading to people who I think are willing and can help. Any small token is appreciated, because as I said to
Absolutely.
you, we do not make any equipment at all in the Caribbean, none. So
No.
everything that we have, it has to come from outside, And to those who think otherwise, than as I saw in somebody has shown me a clip of the video that I sent out, or the other guy sent out, and that's speaking about things fishy. Hence the reason why I said I need equipment, not money. I don't have a sports shop. I don't sell cricket equipment. So yeah, I will continue to seek assistance from whoever is willing to assist me.
Yeah, I will appeal to Cricket Australia, um, the ECB, and the BCCI through this video
But
to send support.
I didn't realize that those balls are so expensive.
Oh yeah,
I honestly, when you
Kookaburra,
told me,
Kookaburra, the Reds, they come around $50 a piece, and it's going to be. I'm talking about a basic one, the practice match. The moment you look into the international level, it gets expensive.
right.
It gets
Well,
very expensive.
I'm not going to be looking for that at this point. It makes absolutely no sense.
But I'm
But
hoping
anyway,
to, I'm hoping for someone to come, and maybe one of these boards can send across some cricket balls, some Kookaburra balls. I will play my part. I will reach out to the CAs and the BCCI and the names. But anybody, any
right.
cricketers past who is watching, any sponsors, would love to actually help Winston with some Kookaburra balls, Kookaburra red balls specifically.
Well, even if it is not Kookaburra, I only use Kookaburra because I know that is the ball they use in Australia. I don't know
In Australia, yeah.
if they're using other ball, but any ball is any ball. You know what I mean? I just said Kookaburra because in Australia I know that they use Kookaburra in Australia.
That's right.
And if they use
India has
any
very
other
cheap.
ball, and yeah, so it does not necessarily have to be Kookaburra.
Absolutely. Let me see. Thank you so much, Winston. You have a lovely rest of the Saturday. Is it Saturday for you or Sunday?
Yes,
Sunday.
it is Saturday. It is Saturday for me. Saturday at 2:49 p.m.
It's Sunday, 4:48 in the morning here in Brisbane, in Queensland.
Wow.
Yeah, you texted me in the right time, and coincidentally, I was awake, and that is why I slept at midnight, close to midnight, and just got up, and I was doing something, reading emails, and suddenly your message popped up, and then I said, "Yep, let me do."
Right. Well, I'm here anytime you feel like you want to have a talk. Because I'm very hurt with the performance of the West Indies cricket right now, the state that our cricket is in. It's really mind-boggling as to why is it that nobody is seeing that we're using a a plaster on an open wound instead of fixing the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah. Once again, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It was an honor. Have a good one.
Gotcha. All
Cheers.
right. Bye.
That's it.